Hello, Steeler Nation. It's me, G.Stryker, part of the welcome to the Steeler Nation Vidcast, sponsored by Total Sports Enterprises, part of the Big Play Network. It was a rough time. We were supposed to be on at 7:30 tonight. We had some issues getting the code in, but we are now on, ready to roll. Lots to talk about today, especially with that press conference that went off with Mike Tomlin, and I cannot believe how he reacted in the press conference. First thing I want to go over, though, quickly here, I want to show this really cool promotion that we're doing right now with Total Sports Enterprises. They are giving away you should be able to see it now, popped up on the screen, but they are giving away a Brett Kiesel signed Gotham jersey. All you have to do is follow at Steeler Nation, at _SN Podcast, at Total Sports Enterprises, retweet the post, and we pick the winner tomorrow. So one of you guys, lucky Steeler fans, will be able to, oh, there you go. Now, if I add it to the stream, you guys can actually see it. But yeah, they're giving away a signed Brett Kiesel Gotham jersey, eligible, as you see right here on the screen. Make sure you're already signed up with at Steeler Nation, at _SN Podcast, and at Total Sports Enterprises, and retweet it. That's all. And you get to win. And I cannot watch this highlight enough of Brett Kiesel's touchdown. I always forgot how quick he was in his short area quickness, especially getting around the quarterback that runs back and he tries to make a tackle right there. He just kind of whoops around him. But that's a 7th rounder doing that. That's a 7th rounder. Man, he was a lot faster than you give him credit for. But win that jersey, Steeler Nation. Make sure you follow it. Make sure you do it. I just had to figure out that this is done a little bit differently than it is on Zoom because I'm not as used to StreamYard as I am from doing all my fun stuff from my Zoom days. But going back here, I'm bringing up the presser because I want to talk about these notes that I took today on it. First thing quickly was the injuries. Banner is back and he's a full participant now. So he might be starting. We're going to find this out real quick, whether he's going to be starting on Sunday or not. But then that comes down to if Banner's starting, who's starting at left tackle, because Banner's only a right tackle. So left tackle is either going to be Chooks or it's going to be Moore. And I know Moore got a little banged up in the game going into the bye week. We'll see if he's back and healthy enough. If not, it's going to be Chooks. If Moore is healthy, it's going to be a real tough decision on who's going to be that left tackle because Moore's been doing a pretty good job. And Chooks, even though that's his natural position from college, still hasn't played it in the pros. And Moore is already kind of doing a good job over there. So I don't know who you'd take in that spot. Let me know, Steeler Nation. Let me know what you think. Anthony McFarland has to be activated tomorrow. That's his 21-day window. Coach Tomlin said he is planning on activating him. So that's going to be coming up here quickly as well. And then the biggest, coolest aspect of Mike Tomlin's press conference. Right now, I'm going to share this with you. And let me bring up Brooke Pryor's tweet right here. And I'll share. And this time I'll add it to the stream so everybody can see it. Hey, guys. Now, this is when asked specifically, Coach Tomlin, we hear that USC is interested in having you as a coach. Or is that something that you've ever thought about, coaching in college? And he goes, hey, guys, I don't have any time for that kind of speculation. That is a joke to me. I got one of the best jobs in all of professional sport. Why would I give any interest in coaching college football? That will be the last time I address it, not only today, but moving forward. Never say never, but never, okay? Anybody else got questions about the college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check. And he was kind of like, I thought he was kind of being funny about it then. Larton said, anyone else? And then as he's getting up to leave, he chooses to fire off again at the reporters. Says, thank you. Anybody asking Sean Payton about that? Anybody asking Andy Reid about that? And that's when he stood up. Stood up intentionally from the microphone to set a point and walked off the stage. And I loved seeing that kind of fire. I didn't expect to see it. Thank you, Brooke Pryor, too, for providing that info for us. She's the of course the person that follows that reports on Steeler Nation from ESPN. But that is like the first time where I really got to see some fire from Coach Tomlin in a press conference, because I've really never seen it before. Gabe Gotti, I'm hoping Watt and Harris have huge games. Gabe, me too, man. It's going to be a tough contest going up against this this front seven with Cleveland Browns. They're a really good run defense, one of the tops in the league. So we'll have to see if we can get some space and get some holes here for Harris to have a good game. But I think Watt's going to have a good game against everybody. Like, it doesn't matter who's against Watt. Watt just has that kind of high motor. He's gonna make something work. Mike Wood over on Facebook. Let's go Steelers. Let's go, Mike. Good hearing from you, man. Watt's a game changer on any given Sunday. Yeah, there you go. I forgot I could put these up here. And ain't a blank check big enough? Indeed not. And I mean, this is going to be a really interesting matchup, Steeler Nation. I mean, we've got the Cleveland Browns. We know them well. They kicked our ass in the playoff game that we had. I mean, that was probably the most humiliating playoff loss I've ever experienced as a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. We don't know who their starting quarterback is going to be. Is it going to be Baker? Is it going to be Case Keenum? Personally, I think Case Keenum's the better quarterback. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to be more efficient. He's not going to try to make those crazy plays down the field, but Baker will try to take some shots down the field from now and again. And we can get some turnovers with Baker. Sometimes he holds onto the ball a little too long. So, you pick your poison there. So if you're asking me, I'd probably rather see Baker. But I want to see Baker for a couple reasons. One, for his propensity to possibly make mistakes. But secondly, because I think that he thinks that he owns the Steelers now. And I want to see T.J. Watt and Highsmith attacking Baker and putting him on the ground, putting the ball on the ground, kicking his butt, and showing him, hey, it's tough to play the Steelers. You got it easy in the playoffs, but it's tough to play the Steelers. We don't know who the running backs are going to be, because right now they've got Hunt and Chubb. It sounds like they're banged up. We don't know who the receivers are going to be. Peoples-Jones just got hurt last game. Landry's hurt. OBJ's hurt. I mean, this is a crazy game. They're banged up at tackle. They had to play on a short week. I mean, they got kind of like a mini bye because they had to play on that Thursday, but then had to turn right back around again. Like, they got that 10-day off, which kind of does help. So now they're coming back in and they're playing us, but we're on our full rest. Everybody's back. Everybody's healthy. The only person I haven't heard about is Stephon Tuitt. I don't think he's going to be ready for this month. It sounded like Tomlin wasn't expecting him to be back yet, but we've got our other two guys that were on injured reserve at the beginning of the season that are going to be back this week, and that's going to be Anthony McFarland and Zach Banner. So, we're relatively healthy moving into this game, and I can't complain about that at all. At all. Steeler Nation, let me know if you have any questions or comments. Comment across all of your platforms. Obviously, this is your podcast. I am here to answer your questions. I'm here to talk about what you want to talk about. And I know I'm going to go grab some questions over here from SteelerNation.com as well, because we did get a couple good ones over here as well. Can the defensive line shut down the running game, or at least slow it down enough to add pressure on whoever's the quarterback? Thanks to Robert over there at Steeler Nation. Yeah, I think that's going to be the toughest part of this game for our defense, is shutting down their rushing attack, which is, I'm more afraid of Cleveland Browns rushing attack than I am against the Baltimore Ravens rushing attack. I think the Cleveland Browns have better offensive line than the Baltimore Ravens. I think they combo block better than the Baltimore Ravens. And that's what we had trouble with in the second half of that Seattle game. Can they shut down the defensive line? Yes. A couple things that would help, getting Carlos Davis back. He's a guy that's been injured and just on the injury report since week 1. It sounds like he's going to be back this week. He was limited all 3 practices the week before the bye. So I'm expecting him to be back. he was higher on the depth chart than Isaiah Buggs. So let's see him working at the nose. Let's see Mondu working at the nose. I like Henry Mondu as well. Don't know if we're ever going to activate Taco Charlton. We'll have to see for this game if he's going to be called up. That and Joseph as well. I want to see Carl Joseph and what he can do as a safety. I want to see him and playing next to Minkah Fitzpatrick. I'm about done watching Edmonds play strong safety, to tell you the truth. I mean, he keeps making the same mistakes and doing the same kind of stuff. So you got to be doing something else here soon. You got to be doing something else. How many targets should Pat Friarmuth get? Thank you there, Cooley, man. Pat Friarmuth should get as many targets as he can get, because I know for a fact Pat is one of those people that if you target him and you throw the ball his way, he's not going to put the ball on the ground. He's a sure-handed target, and now without Juju Smith-Schuster taking those tough catches over the middle, more responsibility has to fall on Pat Friarmuth. More responsibility has to fall on Eric Ebron. More responsibility has to fall on, hopefully, Derek Watt, if we can get him worked into a game. Fingers crossed. I'd love to see that happen eventually here, but never sure if that's going to happen. Just not sure. And do the Steelers have routes that take the receiver over the middle? I hope to hell so, because Ben doesn't even look over the middle of the field, it seems like, anymore. I mean, we just started hitting a couple plays down the middle recently, but we got to do a better job of extending the center of the field, because right now, Ben only seems to hit the edges, either at the line of scrimmage or he's hitting the sidelines. I mean, I'm hoping that Washington can work in there, hopefully give him some big targets down the middle, because really, like, Juju Smith-Schuster was our only over-the-middle target. So now it's got to fall on the tight ends again. It's got to fall on Ebron and Friarmuth. Maybe Gentry, too. Gentry got a catch last game as well. And he's the blocking tight end now. Like, he's the main tight end we want to put in blocking sets. So we'll have to see how they make that up. And thank you so much for the questions there, Cooley, man. As always, I appreciate those. And Drink Iron City always has some good ones as well. Can Friarmuth continue to impress as in the whole season? Is he the real deal? I think he is. I said on draft day, the start of draft day, when we were covering it, day 2, I said the only player I would take over any lineman in round 2 was Pat Friarmuth. I probably pronounced it incorrectly at the time because I didn't know how to say it back. I think you called him Friarmuth or something. But Pat Friarmuth was the only player I thought if he was on the board, he was a Pittsburgh Steeler. He's the best all-around tight end in the draft, and we are now seeing what he is on the field. Became an instant starter, started week 1, as well as Eric Ebron did, because we started with a 2 tight end set. But he's easily the best tight end on our team today. Week 7, best tight end. I guess we were week 8 now because we had a bye week. Week 8, best tight end on our roster. So we'll see how he does this upcoming week against Cleveland. But I'm all for his development. I want him to keep getting more opportunities, more catches, more opportunities to block, because we all know that he can block better than Eric Ebron. That's no question. And will Eric Ebron hold his mouth, as he says, for the remainder of the season with his targets slipping? Will he hold his mouth? I think he will, though. He's one of those players that I wouldn't be surprised if he went off and we got some sound bites from him. He's that kind of player. He speaks his mind. Sometimes his mouth can get him in trouble. I wouldn't say he's intentionally trying to do it like an Antonio Brown, but it could happen. But my thing is, I think his targets are going to go up, not down. With Juju Smith being out, somebody's got to fill that big slot role. And I think that Eric Ebron could be one of those players, because Eric Ebron sure as hell isn't a tight end. We might as well start playing him at slot, at big slot, and be that tight end receiver in the middle of the field to take those tough catches in the middle field, which he did. He had that one catch in the game, 3 guys all over him, and made a big play to carry into for a first down. So, Eric Ebron can make it happen. He can make it happen. More questions, Steeler Nation's comment. Please comment on your platforms. We got a couple more questions over here at SteelerNation.com from Drink Iron City. When will the secret weapon Stephon Tuitt be released? Your guess is as good as mine, because it sounded like in the press report today that Tomlin has no idea when Stephon Tuitt is going to be coming back into the league. So not always the best situation to be at because we could definitely use Stephon Tuitt on the field. I mean, Wormley's doing a good job. Loudermilk's rotating in and getting good snaps. But Tuitt would be an upgrade, and he'd be a significant upgrade. We'll just have to see where they can go from Stephon Tuitt, but I'm not expecting to see him until week 10 range. Finally, like, getting on the field or having a chance to get on the field. I'm thinking it's not going to be until about week 10. So it's a tough situation. Didn't think he was going to be as injured as he was going to be with that leg, with that knee, but turns out he was. And now, and that's just the problem with Stephon Tuitt. Stephon Tuitt has always been injured. And Steeler Nation, I don't know if your patience is starting to wear thin with that, but he always tends to lose a huge chunk of the season to injury. And before the season started, I was lambasted on the platforms, on Steeler Nation, on the podcast, because I suggested trading Tuitt straight up for J.J. Watt. And yeah, Tuitt should have more years ahead of him. I think they're both about the same player. Right now, J.J. Watt's playing incredible football. And if he was playing across the opposite side of Cam Hayward right now, this defense would be killing teams. Absolutely slaughtering teams. Both Watt brothers rushing in on the same damn side, on that left side. Holy crap, would that be fun to watch. But I wanted that to happen. It didn't happen. That's not the way the Steelers do business anyway. I mean, they just gave Tuitt a new contract the year before. They're kind of playing him out. But I was playing the what-if game. I was like, I would have traded Tuitt in the offseason for J.J. Watt. And right now, it looks like I would have been right. But, I mean, that's just a speculative trade anyway. I'm not going to hang my hat on any of that. But it would have been fun as hell to see all three Watt brothers on the team, J.J. playing at a high level across from Hayward, being a team leader, another team leader on this team, and one that plays, and he plays through injury. Like, J.J.'s been getting hurt and banged up a little bit too, but he'll come back and he'll play injured for the most part, which is always something that's fun to watch. Those tough old school guys that were willing to go out there and do what it takes to make their team as good as they can. And he was doing it for bad teams. He was doing it for Houston. Now he's over at Arizona, but Arizona, they're the only undefeated team left in the league now. So kudos to him. I mean, J.J. Watt centering that team leader of their defense in his first year over there. They're playing incredible defensive football. And he's right there front and center, man. He is front and center. So, Steeler Nation, that's Kenny Beamer. You got to have a question for me, man. I've run out of content. Man. So let me know what's on your mind there. What do you want to know? So that's the pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about tonight, because usually this show is so interactive in the comment section, and we have you guys jumping on all the platforms on YouTube. Kenny Beamer jumping up, saying, "Up, what's up, guys?" Mike Wood over there on Facebook. Gabe Gotti always on YouTube. But yeah, this is your show. So if you've got something that you want to talk about, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to try to, come up with these concepts. There's something else that I wanted to talk about, I guess, that I can bring up off the top of my head, and that's moving forward, because this is Ben's last year. I'm going to state it. This is Ben's absolute last season. So people are starting to ask now, who's going to be our quarterback? It's either going to be Rudolph. It's going to be maybe Haskins. I'd like to see Haskins. If that's going to be the case, I'd like to see Haskins and Rudolph competing in the preseason, with Haskins having a full year under his belt, because Haskins came onto the moving train last year, supplanted Dobbs, no question about it. He was better than Dobbs last year, and he was nearly as good as Rudolph in his first year, when Rudolph's already been in the system for 3 years, third year now. So I'm interested to see how that competition would look in the preseason next year, with both of them having with Haskins having a full year. So he's not learning the offense anymore. He's just executing the offense. And that's going to be tough. And that's where usually talent beats experience. And that is where I think Haskins has more talent than Rudolph. Rudolph has the experience right now. I think Haskins going to have the talent. So next year when their experience is both a little bit more equal, that talent might win out. What are your other options outside of that? It would be picking up a free agent quarterback or making a trade for a quarterback. A lot of people are talking about Aaron Rodgers. I wouldn't mind having Aaron Rodgers on the team, except I think he's a malcontent. I don't think he's a good team person. He's in a family organization and like one of the best places ever to play in football up in Green Bay, but he's not talking like he's endeared with Green Bay anymore. He's been hemming and hawing and about wanting to leave and not being happy with the coach and fire the coach and this and that. So, I don't know if I want Aaron Rodgers in here. Hell, if the Steelers didn't turn the ball over, Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have a Super Bowl ring. So that's a flat out fact. And that would have been something that we'd have to talk about from that. It's just unfortunate that his 6th seeded team beat our team in the Super Bowl. So that kind of sucked. So next, there you go, Kenny. I'm with you. That's a good point. Bring us to the next point would be quarterbacks in college. Pick quarterback, Kenny P, right there. Kenny Beamer, Kenny B is talking about right now. Hell of a quarterback. He's looking good. He's putting up great numbers there. He's looking like the real deal. And he just got the kiss of death from Mel Kiper, making him his number 1 rated quarterback, which would suck because we wouldn't have a shot at him unless we lose out. We wouldn't have a shot at a Kenny from Pittman from Pitt. So, I'd love to see Kenny become a Steeler. I'd love to finally get one of these high-end, upper echelon Pittsburgh players coming in directly to Pittsburgh. It was fun getting, Connor on the team, but obviously he was an upper echelon. He was down a little bit, but fun as hell to have that Pitt transfer come on over to transfer to the pro team. And honestly, I think that should be a rule for pro teams. If your college team plays in the same stadium as your pro team, you should get your first pick of that university's draft class. Just a straight transfer into the pro team. That would just be amazing. They could start making more pro teams have their college teams play in their stadiums. But that would be a fun thing. That would be something that I'd be all happy as hell for. But thanks there. Yeah, appreciate that too. Hey, Jerry Johnson, so happy to come across this podcast. My peeps. Yeah, Jerry. Yeah, we're late tonight. Usually we're up and running at 1 p.m. on Tuesdays for the vidcast, right after Mike Tomlin's press conference. But I had to work today, so we pushed it to 7:30. Then I couldn't get on because the administration couldn't get me on until 8. So everything got pushed back. We're in the evening tonight, but it's fun. Special evening vidcast. I know our normal guys, though we still have Kenny still here. We still have Gabe Gotti still here. They're usually regulars on the vidcast, so always good to see them. But for the regular podcast that always airs now on Friday, I think 5 p.m. is the video that gets released on YouTube on DK Pittsburgh Sports Podcast Network. And then the podcast drops on DK Pittsburgh Sports at 6 p.m. for the Steeler Nation podcast. And we pre-record that one usually on Thursday. So everything gets up and rolling and running hot then on Friday. So put those times down. Friday, 5 o'clock for the video for the podcast, and then 6 o'clock for and I jump on the video in the chat section, so we'll be able to chat back and forth. And I think this week is going to be the week that I finally start the Steeler Nation Ask Stryker question and answer Thursday night, 7 o'clock. We're going to do that on Instagram. So Instagram, get your @SteelerNationCom for your Instagram. @SteelerNationCom. Follow it because it's our biggest platform is our Instagram platform. And I'm going to start doing questions and taking questions Thursday night, 7 p.m. live. And we're going to just have a blast on Instagram doing that. So always fun to do that. Yeah, Kenny, I just got off of work too, man. That's the way it works sometimes because I work in the promotions business. So I had to do an event from 2 to 6, but relatively close. So I had to leave at 1 o'clock and I was back here at 7. So I had to eat and get everything ready for the vidcast tonight. Oh, that's a good question too, Kenny. I like that we're talking about this. So are we trading Melvin? I don't really want to let him go just because of health. And Kenny, I'm with you 100%. I think that Melvin is he's not even on the trade block. I think teams are trying to reach out to see if he's on the trade block, and they're like, "Hey, Kevin Colbert, we'll give you a 5th rounder for that Ingram guy." And Kevin Colbert's like, "Yeah, whatever. We got him rotating with our top 2. We have the freshest, best 3-man rotation at outside linebacker in the league. Start talking 1st-round draft pick or 2nd-round draft pick, and we'll talk." Like, that's the only way. That is the only way I would ever consider moving Melvin Ingram, is for a 1 or a 2, and I would definitely consider it. I would definitely have to consider that. But 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no way. Nope. Not even entertaining those. Not even entertaining them. It's like we need to move up in the draft, and we're trying to get a quarterback. We need draft capital. 1st rounder, yes, Melvin Ingram is your guy. 2nd rounder, probably take that too, unless it's way late. If it's a playoff contender, probably not. Probably not going to trade into a playoff contender. A lower guy, so it would be like a late 1st round pick if it's one of the lower teams that needs help. I'd consider that for 2nd round, but 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, I wouldn't even consider it. But I think he means too much to this defense as we have it today, and that's because of how well he works rotationally, spelling Watt, spelling Highsmith, making both of them. And I was telling you guys, Kenny, you're questioning me in the preseason about me saying, I was like, when we picked up Melvin Ingram, I'm like, Highsmith's our starter. Ingram's going to be coming in a rotation, and we see when everybody's healthy, Highsmith is the man. He can play in this league. He just showed us he was a monster last game. That was a monster game and a statement game for a young player in his 1st year as a starter. 1.5 sacks in the backfield, so like 6 pressures, 5 pressures, couple tackles for loss, big in the run game. I mean, that's what you need out of a guy like that. Guy out of small school Charlotte, going under TJ Watt's wing, learning the ropes, and he's playing like a big boy, man. Put on some pounds, and we're just all that much better with Melvin Ingram rotating in there with him. So next question on here, how about a lockdown corner? I thought we kind of made that move when we picked up Witherspoon. Witherspoon really hasn't sniffed the lineup or the roster since we activated for the 1 game, and he had that mistake and let up a touchdown. Don't really think it should all be on him coming into a new system, but I would like to see him worked in a little bit more. I think Pierre's playing very well. I thought Pierre had what could have been the play of the game in that Seattle game, because the only place where they could have thrown the football was the sideline at that spot in the game. And not only did they throw it there, but he made the play on the football to knock it loose from DK, put the ball on the ground, and put him in a situation where they almost let the clock run out because he knocked that, what they thought was just going to be an out of bounds play. Quick catch out of bounds. Nope. Caught the ball. Bam. Ball's on the ground. And they got to scramble for it. And then the referees get confused and blow the whistle dead like idiots. But he made the play. Like Lane made the play. And if he knocked it in there and we landed on that ball, we don't even go to overtime. So that's that. Coach Austin, the secondary coach, he's been emphasizing that all preseason. We saw it in preseason games, all training camp. Punch the ball when you're going for the tackle. Hit the ball first when you're wrapping. And everybody's doing it. We're seeing Lane put balls on the ground. Pierre, we saw Fitzpatrick do it. We're seeing Sutton do it. I mean, this is the point of emphasis for the secondary. I mean, we know TJ Watt's going to do it. That's just what he does. He naturally goes for football. He's so strong, he can tackle you with a pinky. So he can use his whole other hand, both legs, head, neck, body to go for the ball while he tackles you with his other hand. That guy's just a monster. Absolute monster. And Brandon, hey, Brandon Wallace. Good to talk to you. He's my partner in crime on the Colorcast, the Steeler Nation Colorcast. You guys have, if you got an Apple, if you got an iPhone, if you have an iPad, download the Colorcast app because it's just a bunch of Steeler fans talking in a room. It's me and Brandon bouncing ideas off of each other. Then you guys get to jump in and bounce your ideas off of us. We're always giving away something cool each week, and just gave away a Holmes Santonio Holmes signed mini helmet to Cassie, who had jumped on the hot seat a couple times with us on the Colorcast. And that's cool. You jump on the hot seat, you give your hot take, you can win prizes. And we got chat on there as well. It's a ton of fun. It's a real small, cozy environment for Steeler Nation, and that's getting in on the ground floor. So download the Colorcast app. Go to colorca.st. That's the Colorcast website if you want to see what they have to it's all just like talk podcasts, but it's all in like intimate podcasting. Really cool stuff. So really fun thing to get in on the ground floor of. So final score comes Sunday, since you're putting me on the spot here, Brandon, since I'm done talking about who you are. I honestly think the Steelers are going to pull off this win. I really do. It's going to be in Cleveland. I think the injuries are going to be a little tougher on their respect. I think our offense is finally going to be showing some signs of being a proficient offense, not being proficient, showing signs of being proficient. They can get 3 scores. I think they're going to get 3 touchdowns in this game. And if they do that, and we don't turn the ball over, I think we might be winning a nice 21-17 game. That would be my call. So mark that in the win column for the Steelers. Don't even bother playing this weekend. We get our first division win. We're out of the basement. We're sticking the Browns back down in the basement where they belong come Sunday. Because, damn it, I cannot stand to be staring up at the rest of the freaking division for another week. I can't. I freaking can't. There you go. Kenny saying 24-10 Pittsburgh. I like that score too, Kenny. Love that score. Oh, gosh, Steeler Nation. Well, thank you so much for all the questions and comments. Kenny saying too, yeah, if we stop the run this week, we will be fine. And that's what we got to do. That's the number one. Especially with the quarterback situation being up in the air, they have to establish the run. Have to. It's not like they're trying to establish the run. They need to establish the run. They have to establish the run. Because if they can't, if they're in third and long situations, look out. TJ Watt and Highsmith and Ingram coming in off of banged up tackles. Jeez. Yeah, I know Von Miller was talking trash saying he was going to destroy whoever was in front of him. He didn't. They only have 1 pass rusher anyway on Denver. We've got 3. We got 3 edge players that can stand up against anybody's edge players in the league. So good freaking luck, Cleveland, if you get into long situations, because we're going to put you on your butt. We're going to put you on your butt. Doesn't matter who the quarterback's going to be. Baker, Keenum, butt. You're going on your butt. Go Steelers. Thanks so much, Kenny. You know how to log us off. And that's all the time we have here, Steeler Nation, for the Steeler Nation podcast, sponsored by Total Sports Enterprises, part of the Big Play Network right here on YouTube. And so go over, make sure, guys, retweet that TSC at TSC podcast. Jeez, at what is their freaking? I even lost what their Twitter handle was. But go to the Total Sports Enterprises Twitter, retweet it, get your chance to win that signed Brett Kiesel Gotham jersey. Good luck to you, Steeler Nation, and we're giving that away tomorrow. So good luck to you, Steeler Nation. We're looking forward to it. And I will be rooting along with you, as always, Steeler Nation. So until Thursday on Instagram for the first Steeler Nation Q&A with Stryker and the podcast release for video, 5 o'clock on DK Pittsburgh YouTube, 6 o'clock on DK Pittsburgh Sports. Until that moment, I'll be rooting along with you, Steeler Nation, as always. Go Steelers!